Hello, Confirmands. It's Pastor Eggold here again for our weekly videos. And if you remember last time when we were talking together, we looked at the first petition of the Lord's Prayer, and we looked at who God is and what God does, that He loves us and that He cares for us as our Heavenly Father. And we're going to spend some time this week on the second petition, and it's just really another aspect of who God is and what He does for us. Now, before we start, as always, you'll need to have with you your catechism so you can follow along, also your workbook, and then also a Bible with you as well. And don't forget to have a pen and a pencil with you, anything you need to write down and complete the work in the workbook. So, as I said, we're going to take a look at this second petition of the Lord's Prayer, which is, Thy kingdom come. And before we think of God as our heavenly king, I want to take just a moment to think of earthly kings. Now, we don't have a whole lot of experiences of kings in our country. We kicked them out a long time ago, but you probably have seen kings in movies and television shows. And on page 137 of your workbook, there's a little picture there of a crown. And what I want you to do is, to the left of that crown, I want you to write down or draw what comes to mind when you hear that word king or queen. When I hear those words, I think of the Queen of England, and I think of her living in her palaces, and she has a whole bunch of them, not just one, not just Buckingham Palace, and she has all these guards who guard her palaces and guard her possessions, and they have these one guards that dress in all red, and they're called beef eaters. And I think of the crown jewels and her scepter and her robe and her crown that she wears at those royal occasions. And when you think about her kingdom, I think about her united kingdom that she has over there, and think of all the people singing the national anthem, which actually says, God save the Queen. Right? Now, many countries have a king and queen, but a lot more actually don't have a king and queen. In fact, the United Kingdom isn't actually ruled by the Queen. It's governed by laws and by officials who represent the people. But whether a country is ruled by a king, or whether it's queen, or whether it's ruled by representatives, every country, every government still has problems. In whatever space that you have there left on your notebook page, take some time too to write down some of the problems that you see governments and countries and nations that they face. So, problems like corruption or poverty or pollution or unemployment or war or crime, there are all kinds of problems as well. Now, we're going to get more into this in our coming videos, but what thoughts come into your mind now as we think about Jesus as our King? Do you think of Jesus up there on the heavenly throne somewhere in the clouds? Do you think of Jesus maybe directing his angels to do this or that, to go protect this person, or to send a message to that person? Or maybe some people might even think of Jesus as not a very good king, somebody who, he's all powerful and he says he loves us, but there's so much sin and death and evil in the world. Well, as I said, we're going to get more into this in the coming sessions, but I hope that we'll see in the coming time that we have together that Jesus really is our loving King. That's who he is, and he wants what's best for his people, and that's us. And we're going to also come to see that even when things are bad, even when it looks like things are wrong with the world, Jesus is still reigning as King, and he's still in control. That's who Jesus is. He is our King. What does he do? Well, he reigns over us, and he gives us his kingdom. So that's what we're going to focus on for the next few sessions. As always, remember to write down your questions or your comments so that we can talk about those on Sunday, and we'll see you soon.